Hey traders, it's Nolan from Trade and Train. So it's Wednesday the 9th of December, coming up to about 6 o'clock p.m. here in the UK. Let's start as always with the dollar index. We've had a few questions actually about the dollar index, what it actually is. Well, it shows us the strength of the dollar weighted against a basket of different currencies. If you want more information on that, you can type in US dollar index and have a little look on Wikipedia, and you can see how the dollar index is made up, and it's basically weighted against these different currencies here. And you can see the greatest one, the weight is Euro, 57.6% weight, which is why when we look at Euro USD, it's almost the inverse of the dollar index, because the Euro has the most weight in the dollar index. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Actually, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is the dollar index. Okay, this is how the dollar's doing against those currencies, and you can see, you know, it's not doing too well at all, is it? It's being sold off quite heavily. Today there's been a little bit of a pullback. As you can see, this is the daily chart. I'm gonna put some EMAs on here. This is the 8 EMA and the 20 EMA. It makes it look a little bit more prettier and easier to read. You know, you can see that the 20 EMA is above the 8 on the daily. Okay, EMAs are nicely spread as well, which means that we're seeing a downtrend. Okay, we're seeing price pull away from the EMAs, pull back in, pull away, pull back in, pull away, pull back in. So if this trend was going to continue, then we'd be looking for the price to pull back into the EMAs, which it's doing, and then sellers to come in. So this could be a nice area for sellers to come in. We will see. You know, the 8 EMA is sometimes respected. As you can see, price pulls back in there and has a little sell off. Price pulls back into that 8 EMA and sells off. So could be one to watch now. We could be seeing some more weakness in the dollar index. So I was talking about how Euro USD is the inverse, or looks to be the inverse of the dollar index. You can see as the dollar index goes down, Euro USD goes up. And just like we were coming into that 8 EMA on the dollar index, we're also coming into the 8 EMA on the daily chart of the euro dollar. So this could be an interesting area to watch. So when I say watch, because we've had obvious uptrend here, we've had price impulse pull back into an area of interest, which is this 8 EMA, and now you could potentially drop down into smaller time frames like the 15, for instance, if you've got if you can do that, and you'd start to look for buyers to come in. Okay, you'd start to look for price action like this. You want to see that push up, you want to see it pull back, you want to see it push up, you want to start seeing higher highs and higher lows, which gives you that clue that buyers have started to come into the market again. Of course, you don't have to look at the 15, you can look at the hourly, but you're looking for some kind of evidence. You could also look for this break of this CTL here. Look, basically, if this is a correction, okay, this is basically a small mini downtrend, if you like, and we could be getting something like this. So we could start to see buyers come in, look for a breakout here, okay, look for a pullback, and then you'd look to go long. So euro dollar, you know, in a nice uptrend, pulling back on the daily, could be a nice pair to keep an eye on now. Aussie USD, that's been trending really nicely actually on the daily. I'm going to keep in those EMAs for you. You can see what I mean. Okay, coming into that 8 EMA again, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. We actually discussed this one last night in our webinar, and it was basically a buy stop above this candle here. So we'd had buyers, okay, sellers, doji, sellers, but this is an inside bar, so we discussed this stop, buy stop above this candle here, and the stop loss below. You can see that triggered Anyone that took it would have taken some profit off today. And you know, that's coming back to where you entered now, so probably taking the rest of that trade off for break even, to be honest with you. But have a look at the 4 hour actually. 'Cause the 4 hour is really interesting with the, if you put the 50 EMA on this one, take off that 8 EMA, very nice cyclicity on H4. Yeah, you can see it bouncing quite a lot on this 50 EMA. So that is something that maybe you could keep an eye on. Okay, look for price to come into that 50 EMA on the H4, and then you're looking for buyers to come in. Okay, if you don't see buyers come in, then you know there's no trade, because at some point, you know, what goes up must come down, what goes down must go up. So there are always cycles in the market. So trending very nicely to the upside. Look for price to come into that 50 EMA on H4. Do we see buyers? You see a nice rejection, nice 4 hour buyer candle, pink candle like this, or don't you? You know, if you do get the setup, then could be worth trading. Okay, if you don't get the setup and it drops all the way through, then we're gonna, you know, think about, well, is this potentially changing cycle? So Aussie USD, okay, keep your eyes on that. Euro USD, keep your eyes on that for long trades against the USD, that is. Okay, Aussie against Kiwi. Now Aussie against the Kiwi is in a very nice downtrend. Okay, so we've got Aussie against the USD is cycling very nice to the upside. Aussie against the Kiwi dollar is actually cycling very nice to the downside. Okay, so it just depends on what Aussie is being traded against. So I've deliberately put this daily chart on with the 50 EMA and the 20, and you can see that we've got that descending momentum. We've also got obviously impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. Now, is this a correction? Okay, you'd have to assume that it is a correction. Okay, because we're going with a bigger time frame analysis. So we're looking at this as a correction, and you can see last time it corrected, it came up into this 50 EMA on the daily. Might be worth just setting an alert somewhere around there, around about that 50 EMA on the daily again, just to see if we get a rejection. Okay, so keep your eyes on this, because it could have another impulse to the downside. I've got a level marked out here. Yeah, can you see this level here of support? Okay, we've got this impulse correction, impulse correction. Who knows, we could come back into that level there. So keep your eyes on this one. That could be a really nice trade. Okay, really nice trade. If we get a nice bearish daily candle at some point, we could be talking something like that. You know, this is we don't exactly know what the candle is going to look like, but you know, you could be talking a 3% trade there, depending on what goes on. So really worthwhile keeping an eye on this pair, and could be worthwhile. Euro Aussie. Now Euro Aussie, okay, you can see this area here around about 1.6136 or 1.6140. This is acting as daily support for this pair. Just going to take those EMAs off now, because we don't need them for this pair. We can see this distinct level. Okay, every time price comes in or thereabouts, we normally see buyers come in. We had a little fake out here. Okay, this is why when we have moves like this and solid closes outside of a support or resistance, we always look for that pullback and rejection on the smaller time frame. So it's coming very close to that area again. It's not quite there. Okay, so you know, I wouldn't necessarily look for buying opportunities quite yet, but you set an alert around this zone, 1.6136, and then look, does price stop and reverse, go to your smaller time frames and look for changes of cycle. Okay, look for buyers to come in. We can see price came down there, then we start to see buyers come in. Price came down, started to push up, had a little correction, moved up. Then we had a bigger correction, went up again, had a correction, moved up. So we start to see gradual buyers coming in. So it's just the same for this. Look for price to come down in that level and basically look for that selling momentum to stop. And you want to look for higher highs, higher lows on the smaller time frame. Alternatively, if you're an end of day trader, you can look for a price to have come down into this zone and look for some kind of daily rejection candle. What else have I got for you guys? Kiwi CAD on the daily, looking nice actually, looking nice. Look at this, what I would call an ascending wedge here. Price has come to the top of the wedge and we started to sell off. Okay, we had if we look at the weekly actually, we had a very, very nice weekly engulfing seller candle. So an engulfing seller candle is when the candle engulfs or breaks the high and the low of the previous candle and closes below the low of the candle. So that's an engulfing seller candle. Okay, now an engulfing seller candle at resistance is what we would look for, and this is resistance, as you can see. So this would indicate further downside to be expected on this pair. And we go to the daily, we can see this was our engulfing seller candle on the weekly, and we've had some pullback here on the daily, but now we've had these two bullish candles. This was actually an inside bar here, and look at today's daily candle. So we could be seeing those sellers come in again, and you're basically looking to trade this downwards. Okay, you're only really looking for sales on this, back into potentially it could drop as low as 0.88. You're looking really for the bottom here of this ascending wedge. So whether you place a sell stop underneath this daily candle, or maybe you want to go for a sell stop below the low here, that's going to be up to you. But potentially this candle here could indicate that those sellers are back in the market now for the next impulse to the downside. Another chart I want to look at for you is gold. Now gold, as we go into December, gold is seasonally bullish, okay? And it's seasonally bullish through mid-December, through the rest of December, January, and it kind of dies off around February. So we're looking at this price action here as a correction, okay? This is our impulse, this is our correction, looking for the next impulse. And we've also got seasonality suggesting that we should be looking for buying opportunities on gold. We can see that we've started to see buyers come in. After this move down, look, we started to see buyers come in. We've had, and this is the daily time frame, we've had 1, 2, 3. That was a kind of a break, if you like, but we've had 4, 5. We've had some solid days there of buying. Now we're seeing a little correction going on. So look for this correction to end and then look for buyers to come in to at least test the top of this structure. But if seasonality plays out, then we're looking for price to break out of this structure and holding the trade for the rest of December through January, coming out sometime in February. We could even, who knows, we could test 2000, could even test this high again, who knows. So keep an eye on this. Let's put some EMAs on 8 and the 20. See, those are nicely in order still. 200 EMA as well. That's actually bouncing off the 200 EMA. Well, potentially bouncing. So maybe this was pulled back deep enough. Okay, so you're going to be looking at the smaller time frames, and are we seeing higher highs, higher lows come in? Are we seeing those buyers that is what you are going to be looking for. That is your clue to start buying this, okay? Buying gold. So just keep your eyes on it. You can see that momentum has changed, okay? We had sellers here, buyers here. That momentum has definitely changed. We are in a pullback. You're looking for buyers to come back in again. Taking the trade up into here. Now, whether you take some profit here, it's up to you. Whether you put your stop to break even when price gets to here, that's going to be down to you as well, depending on your trade management. But looking for that seasonal impulse to continue and break through here. So that's it from me, traders. Nolan. We've got a live and interactive trading session this Thursday. I'm going to post the link in. It's on Thursday evening. I think it's 6:30. But I'll post the link in and the details into the comments. So if you're new to trading, or whether you've got some experience, come along. It's online. It's free. There's limited places, so make sure you get registered as soon as you can. So from me and the team, safe trading, and speak to you soon. Bye.